What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 17 of Kylie and Cole as the Chiefs advanced from the wild card round and are now set to face off against the Buffalo Bills in New York. Kylie, how you doing?
I am great. We are in playoffs. It's like feels so real and so intense and I'm great. I'm excited. Chiefs are here again. So what's not to be happy and grateful about, right? I'm
Heck
pumped.
yeah, man. We got a lot to talk about. We got Chiefs Dolphins talk, very cold game. We have Willie Gay tweeting something out that was a bit interesting. It's not like a huge surprise per se, but it's still a bummer. You can't pay everybody. We could chat about that. We'll talk about some wild card surprises. We'll look ahead at the divisional round this weekend. We'll talk Chiefs and Bills. And who knows where else we'll go. Maybe we'll even talk cartwheels. But first, all right, first off, to start this out, we got some victory cartwheels from Kylie in the snow. Do you know what the temperature was in that? Like when you were doing this?
I believe it was 0 degrees here. So it wasn't quite as cold as it was in Kansas City, but we were sitting
That's
at
still
zero.
freaking.
My
Yeah,
dog,
yeah.
yeah, my dog in the background, he's thrilled. He's like, why are we outside? Every time I do a cartwheel, he's always in the background. Like, what are we doing?
Oh, that's awesome.
What's going on? Yeah, no, it was cold, which is probably why I look a little rickety. Not that my cartwheels are like gymnastic form ever, but you know what? We won. I owed the people cartwheels, so I did it. I did it, and here we are.
Yeah, your name now in my phone is literally Cartwheel Kylie. I removed your last name for now. It's just Cartwheel Kylie. So it's
And
funny when
that's
you
you know,
text me, it says Cartwheels sent you a message. Which is just hilarious. So that's
that's
Kylie's new
good.
nickname. Cartwheel Kylie of Kingdom Cast,
Honestly,
HBTC. I don't know what you wanna you got a long nickname now.
it's so long. It's a long nickname, but listen, I really dig it. I think the cartwheels have become really fun. And I love when people on Twitter or something are like, does this mean we get cartwheels? Like, I don't know. It's just become a fun thing. So even though I do wake up with either a sore arm or leg or hip or something the next day, it's totally worth it for a victory. So yeah, it's great. I love that you changed the name. That's hilarious.
So this is random, but this guy, if he's telling the truth, is kind of crazy. I shared about this in a YouTube short recently about Travis Kelce's rookie card, how he hates it, and then I found a rookie card
Yeah.
listed on eBay for 50 grand, and this guy said that's my brother you found that posted Travis Kelce's $50,000 card on eBay. If that's true, that's freaking crazy. And if he actually gets that much money, don't forget about us little people, okay? When you make it big, because that is an insane amount of money, okay? I was like, that is unreal. I don't think the card should actually be going that much, but hey, give it a shot. See how it goes. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. We have almost 300 people in chat right now. No, we do have 310 in chat right now. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Remember, we will answer all the questions we can, especially the super chats. They'll get bumped to the front at least at the end, like the last 10 or 15 minutes of the stream. So just bear with us as we plow through all of the NFL web world that's going on. I don't know what world web means right now, but the NFL world. We're gonna talk through all that because there's a lot going on. Let's first just go Super Wild Card Weekend and get right into it. Let's just go in order. So you had the Texans and Browns. Were you surprised about that outcome? Because the Texans like straight up like demolished the Browns. It was bad,
Yeah, I
actually.
was. I think when we spoke like last week, I think I was like the Browns are going to go in and they're just the kind of team that are punch you in the face and take your lunch money and I feel like it was the exact opposite. Like the Texans have this like we don't care mentality right now that like we'll beat anybody, put us up against anybody. And CJ Stroud is no joke. Like that guy can straight up ball. Like what a rookie season he's having. D'Amico Ryan's, I feel like he's definitely a candidate for coach of the year. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I was surprised. I really thought the Browns would put up a bigger fight there, but it felt like they ended up just kind of rolling over. And then, I mean, I guess you can only expect so much from Flacco, but I really expected more, right? Because he had had a good last few weeks or last month or so. So it was interesting. It was a fun game to watch for sure.
Those back-to-back pick sixes, man, were brutal. Yeah, they're absolutely brutal.
Devastating.
Then what was the next game? Oh, it was the Chiefs game. That was the next one, actually, on the list.
That was
Saturday
us.
night. So we'll get right into that. Chiefs-Dolphins. I mean, I think Kylie was pretty close. You were pretty close on the prediction. She said something like 21-10. And it was obviously like 27-7 or 26-7. Harrison Butker made 4 field goals. The Chiefs scored a couple touchdowns as well. But I said, what did I say? 24-21. So you were way closer. It was not a close game. We'll just put it that way. So Kylie gets bragging rights on that one. After the Dolphins scored that big touchdown to Tyreek Hill, I was kind of like, okay, it's going to be one of those games. And then it was not. They couldn't do anything after that at all. They had 11 or 12 drives, and they scored on one of them. 1 touchdown. No field goals. They were 0 for 0 in the red zone, which means they never even got a chance in the red zone. The Chiefs defense literally would not let them. So, yeah, I'd be curious to hear some of your key takeaways, standout players, or anything like that from Chiefs Dolphins.
I mean, for me, the biggest takeaway was how well that defense played and how well the secondary played. I know they gave away the one big play McDuffie had, kind of a rough play with Tyreek, and Tyreek made a play that I feel like only Tyreek can make, and it was unfortunate. And you saw, if you've listened to the mic'd up or heard anything from McDuffie, he was bummed about that play and letting that go. But I felt like they turned around and they went right back out there, and they just continued to play physical football, and they were jamming guys at the line of scrimmage. If you asked L'Jarius Sneed, he said, I jammed him up, and he did. Like that, I think it was that play that circulated where he jammed him up and Tyreek kept slipping on the ground, and then you saw a similar play later on where McDuffie just completely decks Hill. And I loved the energy and the physicality that they brought to that game. Can't say enough about the defense. George Karlaftis, Charles Omenihu, the D-line, the secondary. Nick Bolton had a great game. So kudos to the defense because they really came to play, and obviously it was freezing out. So I know it had to be tough on all those guys out there, but I was very impressed with the defense. And then I don't feel like I can talk about this game without mentioning Rashee Rice, because it felt like it was truly his coming out party. I know we've seen him progressively get better as the season's gone on, but wow, right? And to have Tyreek in the building for that was it just felt like really poetic. Like the old wide receiver one kind of watching this. Someone said, it was like the handing of the baton. And I'm like, that kind of feels like the right way to say it. Maybe Tyreek's probably not pumped on it, but it was just it was a really cool game for him, for Rice. So it was a great game. What are your, did you have any key takeaways from that game or?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good game. I'm trying to take the Chiefs offensive performance. It was a good performance, but I'm also trying to be okay, the Dolphins also had a makeshift D line. So Mahomes did have more time than he'll probably have against the Bills. However, the Bills are so banged up in other areas on their defense, secondary and linebackers, that maybe Mahomes won't have as much time. I know I'm getting ahead, but I'll pivot back in a second. Maybe Mahomes won't have as much time against the Bills, but I think he'll have just as many opportunities. It'll have to be a quicker game. But dude, there were sometimes in the Dolphins game, I mean, Mahomes was back there. He lit a fire. He took his gloves off and he warmed his hands up, put his gloves back on, went through his reads twice, and then he made a throw without pressure. I was like, this is crazy. I was glad to see Donovan Smith back. Yeah, Kelsey had a good game. He had a few drops. But if you saw his hands on the New Heights podcast today, he had all of his fingers were nicked up on both hands. And I think that's just from his gloves and his hands being so cold. I mean, he literally said in New Heights today, this is the first game he can ever recall that as soon as he was off the field, he was going over to the space heaters on the sideline to stand as close to him so he could get feeling back in his fingers and his toes. He said he legit couldn't feel his fingers and he legit couldn't feel his toes. Did you hear him share about he didn't disclose the teammate's name, but he said at least one teammate put hand warmers in their shoes and got huge blisters from it. Did you hear about that?
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that. How unfortunate. Just try to stay warm.
Kelsey was like, you didn't realize your feet were getting burned? The guy was like, I couldn't feel my feet. So, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. That game was cold as hell. Yeah, fourth coldest game in NFL history. Another record would be Rashee Rice had the most postseason yards for a rookie receiver, I believe. Is it a Chiefs receiver or a rookie receiver since Elmo Wright, and like a long time ago, like 50 years ago. I'm trying to remember that stat.
I guess I thought it was just in the NFL. I don't know that I thought it was. I don't think it's the
Hold on,
Chiefs,
I got you right here.
Someone know?
Okay. So he had a career high for himself in terms of receiving yards, but he also broke the franchise record for most receiving yards by a rookie in a playoff game. This record was previously held by Elmo Wright, who had 104 yards receiving way back in 1971. I was negative 20-something in 1971. So yeah, that was cool. And then yeah, he had like the something along the lines of like the third most receiving yards in a postseason game by a rookie over the last decade. So third most. Okay. It was second most, with first most being DK Metcalf, his rookie year, but Puka, a couple of days later, broke it. Puka Nacua broke the record in the Rams-Lions game. So yeah, Sports Shorts with the 2-bomb. I see that right now. Thank you, man. It said fourth coldest game in history, third coldest game in history as far as wind chill goes. I mean, the defense was insane. They shut the Dolphins all the way down. They did not want to be there. They could not wait to get to they couldn't, bro. They probably flew straight from Kansas City's airport to Cancun. Like, that's how bad they did not want to be there. They were ready. So, convincing win. I'm really happy with it. I think it's good momentum going into the divisional round. But the Bills, I think, are on a different level than the Dolphins right now, even though I still have the Chiefs winning this game. There's just some different elements that you're going to have to watch when we talk Chiefs-Bills, and we'll get there. But before we do that, you had a couple games on Sunday, I believe, instead of 3. Or do you remember the Saturday games? It was, I know the Packers blew out the Cowboys. I was pretty surprised about that one.
That was the Sunday morning game or early afternoon game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I think, didn't we pick
48 to 32?
The Packers?
I did. I think the Cowboys are frauds. I mean, and they are. Well, so,
yeah,
certified frauds. And they kept. I just saw a report before we went live that they're keeping McCarthy. Yeah,
feels like they're not serious about.
I don't get it, dude. I guess the thing is with that, it's like, well, who are you gonna get? Like, who else is available out there? I mean, Belichick, Vrabel. Belichick interviewed with the Falcons. I'm like, what the heck, dude? Random. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on from that. I mean, unless you had something to say, I mean, Jordan Love looked great, man. The Packers look good. They're up against the Niners this weekend. That's going to be intriguing. I predict the 49ers to win that game, but dude, the Packers, I mean, they're already surpassed expectations. They got nothing to lose. They're going to go in there firing. They're just going to go out there and do their best to get it done. So I probably think the 49ers would win, but there's also ways where I'm like, well, I could definitely see the Packers winning as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing with house money, right? And they could go in and just shock everyone. They did look really good. I feel like they've been on a hot streak lately. Jordan Love looks better every week, so props to him. I do feel like in regards to that game against the Cowboys, I mean, Dak didn't look good. It felt like the coaching was off. It felt like the defense didn't play well. So I was shocked because I think the Cowboys had won, like, there's a stat there. They had won so many home games in a row, and then the Packers just came in and said, we don't care. We're going to beat you here anyway.
It was bad, too.
I mean, props to the Packers.
The score was not even indicative of how bad the game actually was, because the final score was 32-48, but it was really like, it was like a 21, 28-point game like in the fourth quarter, and those were like garbage time touchdowns. So there was that. Then you had Steelers and Bills. I mean, it's worth talking about briefly because the Bills had 5 players get injured in that game. The Bills had 5 players get injured in the game against the Steelers. Like, I didn't have the Steelers winning that game. Without TJ Watt, I did not think they could get it done.
Yeah.
Although, if Mason Rudolph doesn't throw a pick in the end zone and that's a touchdown, you're actually looking at a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, which is kind of nuts to think about. What were your thoughts on that game? I'm going to actually pull up the Bills injury report from that game.
Yep. I, like you, was like, without TJ Watt, it feels far fetched. But I've seen Mike Tomlin do crazier things as a coach, so it wouldn't. And I've seen the Bills make some really silly key mistakes late in games. I've seen some turnovers from Allen before that are not, I don't want to say uncharacteristic, but ill timed. So I thought maybe those things would kind of swing in the Steelers' way, but ultimately thought the Bills would pull it out, especially being at home. And they did. And, Josh Allen had a really great game. I think he ran all over the Steelers. I don't know how many yards he had. I think he had like 70 yards. Yeah, 74 yards against the Steelers. So he was actually
52 of
absolutely
it
killing
was
it.
that 52 of it was that big scramble.
Correct. Yeah. Which
Which was
he
crazy.
like was about to slide but didn't slide, and if you can say it was a half slide, I don't know. Either way, he's amazing with his legs. So, um, yeah, the Steelers kind of rolled over. Also, it felt like they kind of gave up halfway through that game. They kind of knew that they were outmatched, but yeah, Bills had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, 5 players got injured, and I mean, one was a linebacker. Then they had I think a practice squad call up that it was one of their linebackers. It was a practice squad call up. He led the team in tackles. Practice squad call up. So like they're a little decimated because Matt Milano is out for the season, and then I think as Bernard got carted off, I believe. Could
Mm-hmm.
be wrong there. I didn't find the article I was looking for. I'm going off the top of my head, but yeah, the Bills are dealing with some definite injuries. Diggs was shook up on a play. James Cook was shook up on a play. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna play, but like Gabe Davis isn't practicing right now. Like their injury report is pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
We could pull that up later, but yeah, that's probably the biggest takeaway for me was like the Bills are dealing with some injuries, like for sure, and they have 2 less days of rest than the Chiefs. If that helps at all, I mean, every bit helps, I would think, because the Chiefs played Saturday, the Bills played Monday,
Mm-hmm.
so there was that, and then we had the Buccaneers beat the brakes off the Eagles 32-9. I said in our stream last week that the Bucs are going to win by at least 10 points, and they did not disappoint. You know, we'll get to Jason Kelsey in a second because there is that, but I was very happy to see Nick Sirianni completely collapse once again, showing us that the Eagles were exactly who we thought they were in the second half, and that is extremely fraudulent. It's like, to their credit, it was hard. Like they lost both coordinators, in one year after the
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl loss last year. So like it's not easy, but they got absolutely bamboozled. I mean, by the Bucks, man. Baker Mayfield was out there looking like, I mean, I don't know, pick a quarterback name that's not Baker Mayfield because he was out there slinging it. I mean, they look so good. Um,
Ah,
yeah, the Eagles go home.
yeah.
They lost since the day that Nick Sirianni screamed at Chiefs fans. They went 2-6 and got bounced in the wild card round. Um, the only thing I was sad about was seeing Jason Kelsey distraught on the sideline.
Mhm.
He actually checked himself out on the final few plays of the game, and I really do believe it was to just take it all in from the sideline and kind of just like soak it up, seeing his team out there. That's what I think. And then the reports surfaced that he announced to the team in the locker room he retired. He obviously walked that back today on the New Heights podcast, saying he
Mhm.
didn't really say that. Maybe people took that from his body language because he was emotional, but he said he basically said when the time comes, if I decide to hang it up this year, I'll do it the right way and give everybody proper credit that they deserve. And what are your thoughts on that and around that? I mean, I really thought he was going to retire just based on how he looked at the end of that game.
Yeah, it definitely was emotional for him coming off the field, and of course, they started out really strong, and then for the season to kind of take that turn and then not have such a great end of the season, and then get bounced in the wild card round, obviously not something you expect, especially coming off of a Super Bowl appearance. And I think that just kind of goes to show you this isn't like it's not easy to get back. And what we're witnessing as Chiefs fans is such a rarity to be able to say, we've gotten to 3 Super Bowls in the last 4 years, and now we're hopefully making another run. I mean, it's just so rare. So, Jason Kelsey is a legend. He's absolutely one of the best at his position. If he decides to, I know he said there was a lot of emotions running high, and when emotions run high, you kind of speak out of turn and don't maybe mean everything you're saying. So I think once he does a little bit of reflecting, I think they said they've got exit interviews today, maybe. And then they'll kind of go from there. I think there's some coaching decisions that they might be making. We'll see what happens with Sirianni, but I know there's a couple other guys. Lane Johnson said that he was coming back. I think Fletcher Cox said he was going to be back. So there's some other guys that are coming back that to keep the kind of keep the band together. So we'll see what happens with that, but nothing but respect for Jason Kelce. He's just an absolute legend. He'll walk into Canton and that'll be that. So respect to him, and props to the Bucks, honestly, because you called it. I think I said the Eagles. I was like, I don't think the Eagles will go in there and lose, and they did. They looked fraudulent, like you said, and the Bucks just had them covered on defense. The Eagles could not do anything offensively. Jalen
They didn't have AJ Brown. They didn't have AJ Brown for what it's worth. That's a big loss, but carry on. But yeah, they didn't have AJ Brown, like not just to crap on the Eagles. Like, I don't want to crap on the Eagles the whole time, but it's just like they were down. Like AJ Brown, but I don't know if AJ Brown being in there would have made the difference, to be honest.
No, it felt like they were really unmatched. And honestly, their defense for me was the bigger hole in that team.
They did not want to tackle.
No, they could not tackle at all.
Crazy.
It was the amount of missed tackles. I think they talked about it on the broadcast, but the amount of missed tackles was almost comical. So it's a bummer.
Crazy.
It's a bummer for Eagles fans for sure. But props to the Bucks and Baker Mayfield coming out and just having fun and slinging it. He seems to be having a good time over there. So good for him.
I kind of like the rise of Mayfield because like the Browns did him dirty. He kind of bounced around like he was in Carolina, was with the Rams, and he kind of gave some credit to the Rams. Like McVay like believed in him. It's just like, I don't want you to be anybody other than Baker Mayfield. And I think it's just cool. Like, we didn't know what to expect of Baker Mayfield before this season, really. And I like to see him. He signed like a 1-year team friendly deal, but hopefully he gets a little bit bigger of a deal. They're still dealing with cap space repercussions from the Tom Brady deal and all that. But yeah, I'm happy for Mayfield. And then the only other game we glossed over, and you can talk about that, Baker, if you want to, before we move on. But Rams-Lions was a 1-point game. Probably the best game of the weekend, in my opinion, outside of, we're biased, but outside of Chiefs stomping the Dolphins. I thought that was the most exciting game. A lot of story to that, too. But if you have anything to add about Baker, feel free, and then we'll shift to Lions and Rams.
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to add about Baker is, he's a guy who's had, I think they said like 6 different head coaches over the last few years. So obviously hasn't had a ton of consistency. It might be more than that. So for him to go down there and kind of find his confidence and his swagger again is really nice. It would be nice to see him with some consistency. But that's all I wanted to add on that.
Yeah,
so,
1,000%.
Switch to Rams and Lions. It was definitely the more exciting game.
Yeah, we don't have to stay long on this, but it was a close game. I had the Rams winning. Obviously, once they punted with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and I was like, what? I mean, it was like 4th and 14 or something stupid. So it's like, it was probably like the analytics probably said to punt it. But I was like, huh? And on top of that, like, that was an exciting game. Like, Puka Nacua had like 100 and I don't even remember. Was 180? It was like a lot. It was so many yards. And then the Lions were dealing as well. Like, it was a fun, exciting game. I don't know if you saw that, but somewhere in the second half, Matt Stafford got slammed to the ground, and he was out. He fenced up with his arms and his eyes rolled in the back of his head. He jumped up and then acted like his ribs were hurting. And people are like, well, it's because he got his shoulder stepped on. Homie wasn't even on planet Earth when he got his shoulder stepped on. He was he was in the 5th dimension. He didn't know that his shoulder got stepped on. He was literally out cold. And there's a difference of like, you can get knocked out and not get concussed. Like, I trained in martial arts for a long time, watched a lot of UFC, not an expert of UFC stuff by any means, but you could see a fighter get knocked out, but they're not out cold per se. They can recover. They're like this, recover, and they can jump back up and keep fighting, and some can even win the fight. So that's what I kind of viewed Stafford. I was like, homie was out on the ground, gets up, and he's slinging it still. They didn't get it done, but it was an exciting game, and hey, The Lions won their first playoff game in 32 years.
What an exciting time for Detroit, right? And their fan base. I mean, you could hear the place obviously through the TVs, but it felt like it was rocking. You've got Eminem over there getting the crowd hyped. Which, what a
If you
moment for
had
Eminem. And
one shot.
yeah, I think he said he sang that song, or someone, I saw a clip somewhere where he was singing that song and the whole crowd was into it. So really exciting for Lions fan. And of course, to win at such a close game like that, it's exciting, it's fun. And then, I mean, I can't say enough good things about Dan Campbell as a coach. I just think what he's done over the last couple of years with that organization, and how everybody seems to really respect him. Every guy on that team seems to just really value the time that they've had with Dan Campbell. So I think, yeah, I just absolutely think it's going to be really interesting. Who do they play next? Who do the Lions play next?
The Lions play no, they don't play the Packers. They play I can tell you right now. Lions, Bucks, Texans, Ravens, Packers, 49ers, Chiefs, Bills. Real quick, Every Tribe Coffee said, quit talking about Detroit. Know your role, jabroni. Just kidding. You're a nice guy, but hey, let me and Kylie run the show. If you don't want to hear about Detroit, you can leave for a minute and come back in. Okay. But yes, divisional round, you've got Bucks, Lions, Texans, Ravens, Packers, Niners, Chiefs, Bills. Those are the four.
It's going to be a great weekend of football. It does frustrate me that we're the last game, because waiting for us to play is going to be grueling. Do you feel that? Like, are you someone that like wants to rip the Band-Aid off and just like watch our game first, or are you good with waiting?
I think I like it last. Because me personally, I can just kind of enjoy the games. Because let's just say, God forbid, the Chiefs were first and lost. I would not give a about any of the other games. I mean, I have the Chiefs winning, but I'm just saying, like, you won't know till the end, and then we can deal with it after. And if it's a win, we'll be all high and happy and elated, going into the week. So I kind of like that it's last, and it works best for me for as a content creator. Because if the Chiefs played Saturday, I'd have to make recap videos on Sunday and probably not watch the other playoff games. So it works perfect for me. But I can see the other side of it all. People saying, I can't focus on any of these games because I'm so nervous and I want to just watch the Chiefs play. So I get it. I get the other side of the spectrum too.
Yeah, I think watching other teams play just makes it. You not only watch the other teams play, but watch, some of them lose and get eliminated and their season's over, and you're like, I don't know. It's tough. Plus, I'm just like a really impatient person, and I'm ready to let's just get to it. But the Sunday night spot, it's going to be an electric game. The last time they met, in the playoffs, it was the 13-second game. So I think there's a lot of pressure for this to be just as exciting. And I'm like you. I think the Chiefs will pull it out. So I know we'll get more into that, but yeah.
This looks weird. We could get there. We could do it now. We could get into the injury report and stuff too, but the games are right here. You got 4 games.
All right.
4 divisional
Texans
games.
Ravens.
Yeah, so this is a big game in my opinion for Lamar Jackson and company. Lamar Jackson is 1-3 in the postseason. If they lose to the Texans, they're never going to hear the end of it, ever. They need to win this game pretty bad. I would think they win this game, but the Texans are, I don't know. They're coming in hot, basically. But the Ravens are not the Browns. Even though the Browns, I thought they had a good defense. I thought they were top 5 defense. And CJ Stroud scorched them.
Yeah. The Ravens have a good defense. To your point, Stroud didn't really care about what the Browns were bringing because he completely scorched earth in there. But I think the difference with the Ravens is they also have an offense to kind of back it up. They've got Lamar, who's dual threat. He can pass now. He's got so many weapons to go to. And, of course, he uses his legs. So it's a home game for them. They are coming off of, I think, 2 weeks of rest because they obviously didn't play last week. And then Lamar sat the week prior. Yeah, so they're going to be extra rested. I do think the Ravens pull that one out. Selfishly, as a Chiefs fan, I would obviously want the Texans to win so that we can then go beat the Bills and host an the sixth annual AFC Invitational. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I could be wrong. The Texans are definitely coming in with a chip on their shoulder. Like, we don't really care who you are, line them up, and we'll knock you out. So we'll see.
And I guess we could back up for a quick second here, because Willie Gay Jr. tweeted out the other day that he thinks he might have played his last game at Arrowhead, and basically was thankful for the memories. It was the best to some extent. And he said, let's make this postseason run count and get a ring. I mean, that was the gist of what he tweeted out. And I think he tweeted that out as he saw the Bills clearly beating the Steelers. So he knew, like, okay, if the Bills beat the Steelers, we're going to Buffalo, and we don't have a chance at an Arrowhead game, at least in the next round. But just what you said, if the Chiefs beat the Bills and the Texans beat the Ravens, it's literally Texans at Kansas City, Arrowhead, AFC Championship game hosted at home for the sixth game in a row. Will that happen? I have no idea. I like the odds personally. Maybe I'm biased, but just really thinking it through, I like the odds personally of the Chiefs beating the Bills over, right now, at least, the Texans beating the Ravens. But crazier things have happened in the playoffs. I mean, if you had to choose right now, are you going Texans or Ravens to win that game?
I'm gonna, on the spot like this, I'm gonna go Texans. I don't know why. There's something in my gut.
Right.
I'm saying it. I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong again, but I'm gonna go Texans. I think they've had too much rest. Maybe that's a problem, right? Maybe a little too much rest for the Ravens. We know Lamar has struggled in the playoffs before. That's what I'm basing this decision off of.
Yeah, the Ravens are coming off of a bye, so they're rested. They're getting relatively healthy. Mark Andrews is coming back. So I'm like a little bit like, oh, shoot. He was a full participant at practice today. I'm probably rolling with the Ravens to win that game. I don't know by how much. But you know what? At the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans somehow were able to make some magic and get it done. But I'm going to roll with the Ravens. Just the rest, the momentum, the threat of Lamar Jackson, and then he does, in theory, at least is looking like he'll have Mark Andrews back. So that is a huge benefit for them.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, when he went down middle of the season, I for sure thought that was going to hinder them more than it did. And they kept rolling. I felt like they only got better. No offense to Mark Andrews, but it felt like their offense was still clicking. So it'll be interesting. So you'll take Ravens, I'll take Texans. And then we can reconvene next week and someone will be
I wouldn't even, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would not even be surprised, if it happened, because just that's one of those games where I look at it and I'm like, Doc, I don't know. Any of these games, it's like the 49ers and Packers, like, I don't know. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And then you have the Lions and who? Mike,
the Bucks.
Who? The Bucks. Mike Jones.
The Bucks are such a forgettable team. But it feels like they're kind of forgettable.
I think the Lions win that one pretty convincingly, but I mean, I could be wrong. But yeah, I think the Lions have a shot at the Super Bowl, to be honest. They're looking good, man. If I would think it's 49ers Lions in the NFC Championship game, but you can't sleep on the Packers. So I'm rolling with the 49ers over the Packers and the Lions over the Bucks. But that's
I'm with you. I think the same. I think the Niners are. I think Shanahan might just have a little bit more of an edge on the floor. Personally, I think as a coach, he's just dials. He knows exactly what to do and to help Brock Purdy shine. And they just have so many different skill position players that it's ridiculous. So I'm going to go Niner. I'm with you. Niners and Lions, I think.
I love the playoffs because I just look at these games. I look at them like we could look at them right now. Would you look at it? I look at them and I literally think in my head, oh, I could see ways that the Packers win this game. I see ways that the Texans win this game. I don't know if I see many ways that the Bucks win, but like they could definitely win. And then this game, honestly, like most of the Chiefs and Bills matchups are one-score games. I do think the Chiefs get this one done, but like there's scenarios, like most of the score predictions, Chiefs and Bills this week are literally one-score predictions, like all of them. All of them are one-score predictions.
It's going to be close. It's going to be intense. There's going to be a lot of emotion. And when you think about how the game ended with us in week 14, and how close we were to getting a dub that week, it's going to be intense. And we're in Buffalo for the first time on the road, right? In Orchard Park. And that's with a crowd, because I think the last time Mahomes was there, it was COVID. So that's just going to add, like, Bills Mafia is crazy. So it's going to add a whole nother level of competition there.
Yeah, I saw somebody say something a little bit earlier. Oh, right here. Arthur said, I don't understand how we're viewed as an underdog when you have a top 5 defense in Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey. So I think there's a couple reasons why. The Bills have won 6 in a row. They're the 2 seed. They are also home. So I think that's a few things, and they're not favorited by much. The Chiefs are the 3 seed. They just lost to the Bills a month ago, and they are on the road. But that stuff doesn't really matter to me. Like, Patrick Mahomes is 8-1-1 against the spread as an underdog from what I researched. And then if you look at Mahomes' record on the road compared to Mahomes' record at home, they're basically the same. Mahomes has won 0.7% more games at home than on the road. It's literally like, yeah, he wins almost every game everywhere. So it just doesn't matter. Yeah, I just don't think it matters. I understand, like, he's always had a home playoff game, and people are like, oh, finally, we get to see what the Chiefs really are made of on the road. And I'm kind of like, I don't know that it's all that serious. They're coming into Buffalo, they have 2 days more rest. They are way, way more healthy across the board. I don't know how they end up doing it, because that almost happens every year. So shout out to the Chiefs coaching staff, the trainers, the medical, like, they are always healthy, like pretty healthy, all things considered, except for last season. We all almost had heart attacks with Mahomes' ankle, but like, they still got it done. I don't know that it's going to be that, like, it is going to be home field advantage for sure. Bills Mafia is crazy. They'll be loud. Mahomes and them will have to maybe even do a silent count at times, like, for sure. But, like, that's never really stopped Mahomes and company from being able to win games before.
Right. I think, too, there's a lot of fuel behind the Chiefs right now. I think, Mahomes is ranked 3rd of all the QBs left in the playoffs. I think you've got him ranked 3rd. You've got, a different sports announcers and people saying that the Chiefs are going to get blown out. And I think there's a little bit of fuel. And I think if we saw anything from the Dolphins game, that this team and this defense is ready to come in and be physical and pop you right in the mouth as soon as they can. So it's going to be, I can't wait. I don't know how you're able to just be so calm. I'm over here like,
Oh, I mean,
I can't control it.
I'm excited for the game. Like, I literally tweeted out today. I was like, I love this matchup. I'm super excited for it. But like, the fact that it's last, it's like, oh, I'm fine with that, because then I can stream other games and kind of work and focus. And then the Chiefs will be last, and then we can attack content for the week. I'm just, because I do it, I don't know, do it for a living. So I just look at it schedule-wise. I'm like, oh, that benefits me schedule-wise. But if they would have been Saturday, first game, fine with me. Let's freaking run it, dude. So they were never going to give the Bills a Saturday game because of the rest. You know what I mean? Like, because the game was on Monday. But, yeah, I mean, I'll throw up a couple graphics here. This is regular season pretty much. But again, this is just a reminder of, like, kind of what we're looking at. Chiefs defense against Buffalo's offense. I mean, Buffalo's offense is top 10 in every category that you can imagine. Now, last game that they played, it was what, 20-23, Bills won, and Kadarius Toney was.
Is that right?
Sorry,
go ahead.
Like the score 20-17, or it was 20-23. It was a 3-point game. I know that, and yeah, it was 20-17 on December 10th, and you can see it right here. And Kadarius Toney was 6 inches away from having the Chiefs score a touchdown with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the game. However, the Bills had 3 timeouts. So they would have went up 4. I have no idea if they would have held that lead. You can assume maybe. I'm just saying that to say this. Like, I'm not over here making excuses about Toney. I'm just saying it was a close game. It was down to the wire, and anybody could have still won that game. And even after the Toney offsides, the The Chiefs had 2 or 3 more downs to move the chains, and they couldn't get it done. So that is what it is. But again, you're looking at a Buffalo offense who, I mean, they're top 10 in every category. I mean, virtually. So look at them in the red zone, first on third downs. I mean, 6th in points per game, 4th in yards per game, 8th in passing yards a game, 7th in rushing yards per game. Now, where they get in trouble is they also have a hell of a lot of turnovers. You know, Josh Allen has thrown an interception, at least one interception in like 80% of his games this year, or 75. It's like, I just looked at it today and it was a lot. I was like, geez, I just forget how often he turns the ball over. Which is why on my underdog pick'ems, I almost went with a higher on a half interception on Josh Allen, but I settled for Harrison Butker making 2 field goals. If he scores over a field goal and a half, I felt like that was like a guaranteed lock, where the Josh Allen interception was like probably a lock. He threw an INT against the Chiefs last time too. So yeah, that's very intriguing. What are you looking at when you see Chiefs defense against Buffalo's offense coming up on Sunday?
I think for me, the biggest thing is, like, we know Josh uses his legs a lot. So I think last time we met, they had Willie Gay spy him, and I feel like that worked pretty well. The last time that Josh was at Arrowhead and we played, I think they kept him to like 30 rushing yards ish, and which is somewhat contained, if you ask me. I think with our rushing attack, I think what we're 18th, I think is what that said on their little graphic there, and that's going to be big because James Cook, he's coming off a pretty big game against the Steelers, and he's someone that now that they've added in Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator, he seems to be focusing more on the run, and we've got to be able to stop that. And that's going to be something that they're going to need to focus on. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're jamming up Stephon Diggs. I think I'm not super concerned about that. I think Snead, McDuffie, our secondary, they're playing so well that I just feel like they can contain Diggs. For me, it's going to be about protecting against the run, protecting against Josh Allen getting away from you, and really making sure you put a spy on him. I think Willie Gay, Nick Bolton. I believe Nick Bolton was out last time we played them. Does that sound right?
I think it was his first game back from IR.
Tranquil was out. He
did not clear concussion protocol. I'm almost positive. If you look at Chiefs inactives, see if I can find it pretty quick. And see what pops up here. Here are the inactive players for the Chiefs. And this is a big one too. This is why I wanted to look it up so we could talk about it real quick. When you look at the inactives, you had no Isaiah Pacheco on offense. They had no Isaiah Pacheco. And we're not on that side of the ball yet. But yeah, Drew Tranquil was out. Nick Bolton was back for his first game. And then, you had no Donovan Smith. And that was Wanye Morris's like second game as the left tackle. Now, who are the Bills' inactives? I mean, who are these guys? I know DeMar Hamlin, but I don't know the rest. And so I'm sure some of them are valuable players. But if you're looking at the Chiefs players who are inactive versus the Bills, I mean, it's not close, in my opinion. I obviously know who DeMar Hamlin is, but I don't follow the Bills super heavy. None of these names at least jump out to me. Maybe that's my ignorance speaking, but this is big. Like, you had no Tranquil, and then you had no Donovan Smith, and you had no Pacheco. This time, though, you've got literally all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You have all of them.
Yeah. And I mean, Tranquil that's big when you consider keeping the legs fresh and what Tranquil's been able to do from a leadership perspective. So having him back out there, especially when you need to cover that side of the middle of the field and really lock down the rushing game, I think that's going to be, it's key. It's key. I know we'll talk about the offensive side of the ball as well, but Donovan Smith had a great game last week against the Dolphins. So I think it's great to have him back, and the chemistry that O-line has is, a little better with a guy who's been there most of the season. So we can get into the offense though when we get to there.
Yeah, we could flip it now. Totally fine.
Bring up the graphic.
It's up. Let's go. Yeah, so, I mean, I'll just go over the graphic just real quick. I mean, guys, this is the postseason. We're just looking at the body of work from the regular season. Buffalo's defense, honestly, pretty good. 4th scoring defense. Mm-hmm. top 10 in a lot of categories outside of red zone, third downs, and rushing yards per game. But again, this is a team that's just weird. They're top on both sides of the ball. But when they played the Chiefs, they were like 6-6. They went on a huge run though, and they've won 6 in a row. So they're definitely striking hot. The Chiefs offense is an interesting group of people. But if you look at their injury report, Ross is trending to maybe play, but that I'm like, okay, cool. He'll have a handful of snaps, maybe. Kadarius Toney, I don't know if he's going to play. I'm just kind of expecting right now you have the same unit that came out against the Dolphins, and it was really the Pacheco, Kelsey, and Rashee Rice show. I mean, it was those three. Mm-hmm. Pacheco had 24 carries. Rice had 8 catches or whatever it was for 130 yards. Kelsey had 7 catches for 70 something or 5 catches for 70 something. It was those three primarily. McCole Hardman could have had a bunch of yards potentially. You got to finish your routes, and maybe that one of those, that first one up the right side. I don't know if the wind got to it. Mahomes was just underthrew it a little bit. I'm not sure, but there was a couple others where I'm like, dog, what is going on? So I will say this. McCole Hardman actually was a deep threat and took the top off the defense, and he's going to at least, in theory, keep the secondary honest, meaning like they have to fear the deep ball a little bit because, yeah, sure, maybe Mahomes and McCole won't hit on 70% of them, but if they hit on a couple or even one, I mean, McCole could house it. So that's kind of like a real threat. And when you have a Bills defense, who is as banged up as they are, not necessarily on the D-line. I think I respect that D-line a lot, but dude, they're dealing, with a bunch of injuries. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. If I just search Chiefs injury report, maybe.
Talking for Bills,
screen.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, I mean, they'll pull up both on this, but I think this is this week's, right? Yeah, divisional. Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot, dude. There's a lot of people on here, man. Christian Benford, Tyrell Dodson, Terrell Bernard. I mean, there's Gabe Davis didn't practice today. I mean, Leonard Floyd vet rest, okay. Taron Johnson in concussion protocol. Taylor Rapp didn't participate.
That'll be interesting.
Spectre.
The concussion will be interesting because he had that in the Steelers game, and I think, is it 5 days that you're in concussion protocol? That'll be interesting to watch. Interesting one.
It helps that it's on Sunday. But it's hard because they played Monday. If he got concussed on Sunday, that 7-day time, the odds are a little bit more in your favor. So, because we just saw that happen with Wanye. The Chiefs had that Saturday game. I think they played Sunday. He got concussed, and he couldn't clear concussion protocol before Saturday. Well, the Bills had a Monday game, and will he be able to clear in time for the Sunday? Maybe. We'll see. There's a lot going on here, and I'm not going to read too much into this injury report right now. What you really want to see is, Thursday, Friday. I mean, you want to see this. And I guess the Bills are dealing with their own issues of bad weather again. Now they don't know where they're going to practice or something. I was like, holy crap, dude. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with their injuries here while we're over here?
Their secondary is pretty depleted. So, and then of course their linebacking core. I mean, even if they do play, they're definitely banged up. Last time we played them, Rashee and Travis, I believe both had about 70 yards. So that's going to continue to open that middle of the field up for them. So it'll be interesting to see how the Chiefs offense handles this game. Like you mentioned with McCole, they were trying to get him involved with a couple of those deep passes, but I think he said the lights got in his way, or someone was saying that the lights at Arrowhead got in his eyes. I don't know. Maybe the lights at Buffalo are a little different. And he can catch one of those deep routes, but he does have to finish his routes. I completely agree with you. I also feel like, some of the red zone struggles that we've had all season really, but I wonder if we see different packages because I wonder if Andy was playing a little close to the chest after he realized that we could maybe just win with field goals. Not to say that they should do that in this game, but I do wonder if there's some plays we see in this game that we haven't seen yet. And I wonder if they use McCole a little differently. I feel like he's the guy who last season was really impactful in the red zone, and we haven't really seen much action from him down there this year. So it'll be interesting to see how they use him. And then another guy, I mean, like you said, Pacheco was out, but Clyde's someone who's really stepped up lately as well. So I think there's some different attacks that they can take down in the red zone to maybe make a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, that's going to be, looking at Chiefs offense. Again, you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but like they did not have Pacheco last time. They did not have Donovan Smith last time. Those are two, again, I'm not saying Donovan Smith is like a world changer, but he's probably the best left tackle that the Chiefs have at the moment, especially as far as veteran experience goes. And the Bills D-line is, they're pretty good. So you're going to have to watch out there. But yeah, get Pacheco involved. And you know what is interesting? I think Noah Gray is going to have a couple opportunities to shine in this game because there's going to be intentional attention on Kelce and Rice. It was pretty clear in the wild card game that the Chiefs' game plan, I said it earlier a little bit, but just their game plan was feed Pacheco. Then when you're passing, either throw the ball to Rashee Rice or Travis Kelce. And then McCole Hardman kept them honest enough to open up the middle of the field a little bit. And it was nice also seeing Rashee. He was catching passes like in some different routes than we were used to seeing. Some of them were just shallow crossers and stuff like that, but like it wasn't all bubble screens. It wasn't all, little curl routes and stuff like that. And he was able to really turn that into some nice yak. So I like to see that a lot. But yeah, it's just same stuff with the Chiefs. Please, for the love of God, don't turn the ball over and give Josh Allen and company ample opportunities to march down the field, because as good as the Chiefs defense is, they're going to need rest, and you can't set them up to fail on short field, against the Bills. As weird as the Bills are, they have the highest of highs and the lowest of lows on offense. It's like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, they're a super team on offense. And then the next drive, I'm like, holy crap, dude, Josh Allen's an idiot. Like, why did you throw that? So I respect the Bills. I think the Chiefs can get it done. It's going to be a hard fought game. I do like what this guy said. I've been a Bills fan for over 50 years. This rivalry reminds me of the Steelers-Raiders in the 70s. The game could go either way. I appreciate the Bills fans in here. There's been some like straight-up D-bags that have probably jumped through too many tables and landed on their heads a couple too many times. But like, there's been some nice ones too. So it's interesting. You get like the children coming in here, and then you get like the grown folk that actually have, a average IQ or maybe slightly above, and then just they're confident in who they are and don't have to come acting like, there's something in chat. It's just weird energy. But heck yeah, man. I'm excited about this game, and I have the Chiefs winning. I have a score prediction too. Do you have one?
I don't. I can come up with one, but I also have the Chiefs winning. Do you want to go first?
I'm just rolling with the Chiefs winning 24-21. I feel like it's a default score, but like the reason why I'm saying that is just because the Chiefs are going to have to score around 25 points to win this game. And with Josh Allen and company, I could easily see the Chiefs offense even putting up close to 30 just with the defense being banged up. But I can also see the Chiefs offense stalling in the red zone and having to kick more field goals than desired. And you're left with a bit closer of a score than ideal, with Josh Allen and company being able to get some points up on the board at times when needed. Josh Allen, it's like you got to contain that guy. You've got to put a spy on him. You talked about the run game. James Cook didn't have a good run game against the Chiefs last game, but he ate in the passing attack. He exploited no Drew Tranquil, and he was the leading receiver in that game, if you remember. Diggs only had like 40 yards or 30-something yards. It wasn't much. But James Cook, you're going to have to watch that. You're going to have to watch him out of the backfield, the extension of the run. Yeah, I think the Chiefs defense will come in with a good plan. And I actually feel pretty good about them winning, But this is a good team, and I have a lot of respect for them. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't have the mindset of like, oh, the Chiefs are going to walk in and just just demolish them. I mean, I would love it, but I think it's probably every game against the Bills is close almost, and that's how I feel like it's going to be again. Hopefully I'm wrong, but there you have it. Prediction.
That's a good one. Okay, so I thought a little bit about it, and I think that the Chiefs will score a little bit more than that we've seen them score in the past. We did see them score, 27 last weekend, which was higher than I feel like they've been scoring lately. So
26.
I'm going to say that
but yep,
26, yeah.
it was a weird
So
number.
I think that I do think that they're going to get to 30, actually. I think it's going to be 30-21 Chiefs. I think that, I mean, you kind of talked about turnovers, but I think one of the big keys is winning the turnover battle. Each of these teams has struggled over the all season, really, with turnovers, whether that be the quarterback throwing interceptions, whether that be fumbles. Each team has really struggled with this. And I think something we saw from Patrick Mahomes last week is he was really able to secure the ball and make smarter decisions, and kind of relying on his defense to kind of, go out and get it done so that they're not having to put up a bunch of points. Just take the points when you can get them. Don't force a ball into a tight window. Don't just throw it away. Don't turn the ball over in the red zone. That is critical. That's critical. Get points there when you can. So I think that Mahomes understands what he needs to do. And I think that we're going to see him do it. And I think that the Chiefs are going to I think we're going to see them a little bit better in the red zone. I think we're going to see some things from Andy we haven't seen yet. I think it's playoff Andy. And he's always
dig into the bag, Andy. So. Get in the bag.
Yeah. Get all the way in the bag, Andy. We got faith in you. So I'm going to go 30-21 Chiefs. Bills are a good team. Respect to the Bills, but I gotta go for the Chiefs here.
Here's what it's looking like right now by some. It's not 50-50, but some are rolling with the Bills. But if you look at this, it's all one score stuff. 29-27, 20-17, 29-22, 31-20, 30-27. I don't know why I read from right to left. I must be out of my mind. But yeah, 3-point game, 3-point game, 7-point game, 3-point game, 2-point game. So basically all these people are saying this is how we think it's going to go, and you won't really know until game day, but wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs win by a little bit more than I'm predicting. But, I always see, and I'm like, man. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And the Chiefs' defense is so good that, yeah, Patrick Mahomes sometimes is playing it safer in the red zone and not trying to force a turnover, because if you can get 3, as we've seen, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 starts to add up. So I think against the Bills, you need a couple more touchdowns in the red zone. Now, minus that Jawan Taylor penalty last week, the block in the back that he actually got shoved into Justin Houston, throwing me back there with it being Justin Houston. But the Chiefs would have been 3 for 6 in the red zone. So Harrison Butker would have had, let's just say, 3 field goals, and the Chiefs would have had 21. That would have been 30 points. I mean, that's pretty close. That's a pretty good game, So they can get there again. I'm gonna definitely roll with that. Let's see what some of the super chats are saying. They say, Lyndon with the 2, appreciate you, said feeling a big game from Mahomes Sunday. Playoff Pat's a different beast. He's a different animal. This is why they're all here, man. I mean, Josh Allen and company too. Like, they're all here for the playoffs. They're all here. But like, Mahomes is the one, those guys that have proved it. Mahomes is 13-3 in the postseason. That's freaking crazy. Josh Allen's 5-4.
Wow.
But 13-3 is pretty insane. And those 3 losses was AFC Championship game in overtime against the Patriots, AFC Championship game overtime against the Bengals, and Super Bowl 55. Those are his 3 losses in the playoffs. It's actually insane. It's insane. Gateway with the 5. I've got a feeling the Chiefs may actually pull it off against a red-hot Bills team. Mahomes owns Allen in the playoffs. How about those Chiefs? He is 2-0 against Allen in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the experience is also on their side. I mean, you just said it. Those 3 losses that they have in the playoffs are, 2 AFC Championship games and a Super Bowl. So they've got a lot of experience with the coach, a lot of experience with the quarterback, and then of course Chris Jones and Travis Kelce also bring a ton of experience and leadership. So, I mean, I think they're gonna get it done. Boom.
Lucas said, I think the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl again and winning. Let's go, dude. I mean, let's get past the divisional first, but I like where your mind's at. 1 week at a time, but I'm excited about it. And so I'm glad you got that outlook. Thanks for the 2. Gateway again for the 5. Sports with the 2. Lyndon with the 2. And then Sean with a 10 bomb said, the beauty of going last is the last time the Ravens were 1 seed and we were after, we knew we would be hosting. Let's keep this going. Oh, that's true. If the Ravens lose, the Chiefs know if they win, they could be hosting. I don't know if that gives a little bit of added motivation. I don't really think so. I think they're going to want to go in and win regardless, but there might be a little tiny sliver of extra fire if they're like, dog, the Ravens blew it. If we win this game, we're going home again for the AFC Championship game. I'm not saying that the Ravens are going to lose for sure. I mean, you picked the Texans to win. I went with the Ravens, but if the Texans do it, then if the Chiefs do it, that's Arrowhead AFC Championship game for the 6th year in a row. Let's go, Sean, with the 10. Appreciate you, brother. Lucas said, my prediction is Ravens lose, 49ers win, Chiefs win. Ravens
I like
lose.
it.
Okay, so that's Kylie. Yeah, and I think we both went 49ers. Did we both go 49ers, or did you go Packers?
No, I went Niners and Lions.
Okay. Niners, Lions, and Bears. Oh, my. Just playing. Gravy Squint with the 2 said, I'm not worried about this game at all. Bills mid AF. I mean, they've won 6 in a row, and they're 5-1 against playoff teams. I don't know if they're mid, but they're I definitely think the Chiefs can beat them. No doubt. I think there's ways to victory. No one worried about Buffalo, says Gravy with another 2 bomb. Appreciate the back-to-back 2s. Raphael with a 5. Thing is, the Bills are looking good, but they have flaws. You start forcing throws from Allen, he gets sloppy. Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make him make mistakes. He's got really high highs and really low lows, like you said earlier.
Yeah, it's crazy. Josh Allen sometimes will make plays, and I'm like, wow, that was insane. And then he'll make a play a few throws later, and I'm like, that was dumb as hell.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
Yes.
It's just crazy out there.
Oh.
He's very good at avoiding sacks and evading pressure. Mahomes is too, but they're 2 of the best to do it. So that's always interesting. If Spags, and he's going to do it, he's going to blitz, he's going to pressure Allen. You can't lose containment. We did that a couple times against Allen last game, and it's oh, we got him, and it's oh shoot, they over pursued, and Allen, slithers out like the sneaky serpent and gets 10-15 yards down the sideline. It's God bless America. But heck yeah. Appreciate the 5, Raphael. Joshua with the 5 said Chiefs are winning the first back-to-back Super Bowl since the Patriots. I got the Chiefs winning against the Bills too, 34-20. I like that a lot better than what I said, 27-24.
Love it. I like that, Joshua.
Did I say 24-21? I said one of those. It's a 3-point game in the 20s.
You're gonna make
That's what I said.
I need a little bit of breathing room, but we know it's divisional round. It's not going to be that way. It'll be a close game.
I would prefer the breathing room, definitely. But dude, even think about the Chiefs' last Super Bowl run, the AFC, the divisional. That was a pretty convincing win, I think. I don't remember the exact score against the Jags, but then it was a 3-point game against the freaking Bengals. It was a 3-point game against the Eagles, of course, just down to the wire every time.
We came back from.
Thank God. Yeah, we were down by 10 at halftime. Zach with the 5 said, let's get this W, Chiefs Kingdom, hoping for a Travis Kelce touchdown, but we'll see. Hey, let's go, Zach. Yeah, Travis Kelce hasn't had a touchdown in a minute. I can't remember the last time he's had one. He's had some chances.
I think he only had 5 all season.
Yeah, and it's been I don't remember the last game he scored. It's been a while, since he scored in the red zone, which honestly plays a role a little bit, in my opinion, of the Chiefs taking a step back in the red zone. Kelce, Jet McKinnon was a big part of the red zone last year, and McKinnon's on IR. Lack of execution. Sometimes they're in the red zone, they're in a scoreable range or within the 5, and then holding Jawan Taylor or holding Trey Smith. Something happens and it puts them back to the 15, to the 20. And then it's second and goal at the, first and goal, second and goal at the 20, at the 18. It's geez Louise, man. So some of that's penalties, some of it's execution, some of that's Kelce at times, some of it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is sometimes, but they've definitely taken a step back there, and hopefully that changes for sure this Sunday at least on a couple drives. Entrepreneur with the 2 said, I'm more worried about the Ravens and the Bills. Yeah, we'll just see how this weekend plays out because, like, the Ravens may not be there next week. I don't know. I think they're going to beat the Texans, but, hey, if they don't, I'm for it because if the Chiefs win, AFC Championship game. Let's go.
Exactly. Let's get a dub. Let's just get past the Bills. I'll do more cartwheels. We'll all celebrate. And hopefully they're hosting that AFC Championship game again. It's going to be a good weekend. A lot of football.
Gravy is back with another 5. Show the list of QBs Josh Allen's beaten in the playoffs. Yeah, I actually saw that today and I retweeted it because I was like, that was super interesting. But, like, that's fine. It's still close games against the Bills. I mean, the divisional game in 2021, it was literally, the Bills were up by 3 with 13 seconds left, dude. So I understand Tyrann Mathieu was concussed and left the game, and the secondary was in shambles, and Mike Hughes was over there tripping over Casper the Friendly Ghost. You know, like, it was pretty bad. But, like, it was still a 3-point game with 13 seconds left, and the Chiefs forced overtime because they're them. But, like, it's still hard-fought games against the Bills, you know, regardless of that. But thanks for the 5, brother. Raphael back with a 2. I'm riding with the Bucks-Packers NFC title game. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Whoa,
so the Bucks beat the Lions and the
it.
Packers beat the Niners.
Listen, stranger things have happened. All these teams. It's a good 8 teams that are left, right? And the QBs and the Bills have a ton. Like, I don't want to say they have all the pressure, but they have a ton to play for. Like, this is a hump that they desperately want to get over. So it's at home for them. It feels like for them, they probably feel like this is our time, this is our chance. And as a Chiefs fan, I feel like this is our time to go in and show them that Patrick Mahomes can win on the road and that we're not done yet.
Factual. They want to win this game bad, man. They've been hearing the talk all year. They know they've underperformed. They know they've struggled. The defense has been carrying. Like, they understand. But it's anybody's game now. Anybody's game. Single round elimination. Who can show up and play the more complete game? Let's roll with KC, baby. Jabin with the 5 against this Chiefs D playing lights out. Bills will get no more than 14 points. Super Bowl coming. Hey, I like that a lot. Watch it be like 14 to 17 to something stupid. In a stressful one. I think the Chiefs score into the 20s, dude. I think they do. I think they're going to have a good plan. That's the last super, but hey, shout out to Jackie with the membership, and then Suze with the membership earlier today said, love y'all, love these lives. Thanks so much. Appreciate all the support, guys. I mean, every time the playoff is here, Kylie, I'm like, is this the last one before we do something in the offseason? But I'm like, I think we'll be back next week, next Wednesday, and the Chiefs are going to be getting ready for the AFC Championship game for the 6th year in a row.
I think you're right. I can feel it in my bones.
That's freaking insane. What life are we living? I mean, that's unreal.
I sort of have to pinch myself, like, that this is, I mean, you understand, like, you were a struggling Chiefs fan like myself through the 90s, through the 2000s, like the pain, the agony, and then to be experienced, like, don't take it for granted either way. Like, obviously we want a dub coming out on Sunday, but it's still, like, we've gone to the playoffs. This is the 9th season in a row that the Chiefs have made the playoffs. That sounds right? Yeah. It's really hard to do. So don't take these times for granted, because it's truly remarkable what the Chiefs are doing right now. It really is. And they're gonna put up a dub. So it's gonna be great.
I'm stoked. Well, Kylie, thanks again for hanging out. Everybody in chat, I mean, we had like 750 people in here just a second ago. Appreciate y'all for hanging out. It was awesome. Yeah, it was fun to talk football with you, Kylie, as always. And yeah, next Wednesday, getting ready for the AFC Championship game is the goal. That's what we're coming in. We're gonna come in and start talking about, is getting ready for the Ravens or the Texans. That's what we're going with.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I absolutely love this. The pressure is mounting. The anxiety is mounting, but it's fun. This is playoffs, baby. This is exciting.
before we get out of here, do you think the Chiefs will be able to ride the D?
I don't know if it's so much that the identity of this team has shifted, but this is far and away the best defense that Patrick Mahomes has had, right? I mean, is it possible that they can ride the D? The defense?
Okay. Listen, I believe.
Dude, I cannot believe.
I've watched that so many times.
I cannot believe that he said that. That is insane to me. That's almost crazier than what's his name? I think it was what's his name saying Justin Tucker was banging 60-year-olds.
There's still some of those ghosts of Justin Tucker banging a 60-year-old 60-yard field goal off the crossbar and through to be.
Yo, Mike was like, nah, fam, no, sir. So yeah, we're gonna let the Chiefs defense carry, but we're not using those phrases. So appreciate y'all for hanging out, and until next time, let's go.
Let's freaking go.
How about those?